Good morning, church. Our preaching today is about the parable of the sower. When we read the parable of the sower, we see the way the Lord spoke to the people around him and his disciples. We see the care of the Lord because he spoke in a way that the people of those days understood. They understood a farmer had some seeds and he plants them so that he could have a harvest and sell them. People understood that whether they were market sellers or the farmer himself or somebody who ate the food, they understood where he was coming from. So God spoke in a way that people would understand. It's the same way if Jesus came in the 21st century, I guess he would talk about smartphones or emails. So what is the focus of this parable? We can quickly understand that the farmer refers to God because God plants everywhere. He cares for every single person. It doesn't matter what kind of soil you are. He plants everywhere. He makes sure that his gospel is preached everywhere. For the seed in this parable refers to his words. The soil refers to our soul. So when we look at the parable of the sower, we realize that the grounds that Christ was talking about, that is the hard soil, the stony ground, the thorny ground, and the good soil, he was referring to our hearts. The condition of our hearts when the word of God is being preached to us. The stony ground is the ground that the birds will, when the seed is sown, when Jesus Christ sows the seed, the birds of the air quickly come in and take those seeds. These are the people that hear the word of God and of the kingdom, but do not understand. The evil one immediately comes and snatches away the seed, that is the word of God that has been planted in their hearts. The seed on the rock soil represents those who hear the message and immediately receive it with joy, but they do not have the deep roots. But they do not have deep roots. They do not last long. They fall away as soon as they have problems for believing the word of God. They fall away instead of applying what the word they had. The seed that fell among the thorns represents those that hear God's word. But all too quickly, the message is crowded out by worries of this life, about the wealth of this world, and it does not produce fruit. The last soil is the seed that fell on good ground. This represents those that hear the word of God and truly understand it, and it produces a harvest in their lives, 30-fold, 60-fold, or 100-fold. So what is this word saying to us? Jesus is speaking in a parable, wanting us to understand that our hearts are actually the soil that his seed, his word, is sown into. As a believer, then you have to look at your soil. You have to look at your heart and see, are there any thorns? Are there any stones that are making the word of God not to produce results in your life? Are you bitter? Are you angry? Are you a person who finds it hard to forgive? Are you a person when God tells you do this and do that, you postpone? Are you a person that doesn't find joy in doing the work of the Lord, in reading the word of God, and in praying? So what you need to do today is to look at your heart and say to yourself, is my heart ready to hear the word of God? Is my heart filled so that when the word of God comes, I'll be able to use it, apply it in my life, and produce a harvest that will please the Lord? If it is not, you take your heart, you take yourself to the Lord in prayer, and you say, Lord, help me. I find it hard to forgive. Lord, help me to forgive. Lord, help me to do this. Lord, help me to be able to give and to help others. You know yourself what rocks are in your life, what thorns are in your life that needs to be rooted out for the word of God to be able to produce results. So at the end of this message, as individuals, if we look at the picture that we're going to be shown now, it shows the different hearts. So let us make sure that we prepare our hearts to hear the word of God and apply it in our lives. Because the word of God, if applied in our daily life, it does produce results. Thank you.